Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to go over the my top five glute tips. I know we talk a lot about glutes on my channel, but these are like my ultimate tips that I feel like people kind of miss out on. Also, I'm a glute girly, so if you're not here for the glutes, don't unsubscribe because that's just rude. Just kidding. But yeah, subscribe if you guys want to grow some glutes. Keep watching if you want basically my 5 tips on how to grow them. So I'm going to tell you guys about glute activation. I feel like before you leave this video, I feel like glute activation has such a shitty name, like just in all of fitness. And I just want to tell you guys that it can be used in the right ways. So in my head, when I was starting fitness and when I was starting to like actually, work on my body and work on my glutes and whatever, obviously my goal for the longest time was just to grow my glutes. And so I bulked and whatever. But the one thing that I did that helped me just get that like mind to muscle connection, and I think this is something that people don't talk about when they're talking about glute activation. So when you're doing glute activation, it's not even like I'm trying to wake up the muscles or I'm trying to get my glutes fired up. Like fuck off with that, okay? Basically, it's using glute activation is using like physical movements to connect your mind to your muscle, essentially, is how I think about it. So I'm not sitting there thinking, like, oh my God, I'm going to get the best glute pump if I do glute activation. I'm literally going into it being like, if I actually use glute activation for my mind to be able to activate my glutes, that's how, when I'm doing hip thrusts, I'm able to actually like use my glutes fully rather than like the rest of my legs. So realistically, it's like people really think of glute activation as such a shitty thing, and they're like, "Oh, it has such a bad name and whatever," and like I don't want to, do it in the gym because it's embarrassing and all this stuff. But realistically, when I started out, that's like what I did. Like I was like, okay, before every leg day, I would do, mind you, I was working out at home, so it was a little bit more like okay for me to be like, okay, I'm going to do like some glute activation. But realistically, even if you're working out in the gym, like if you're embarrassed about it or whatever, just do it in like the corner of the gym or something. But realistically, it actually helps so much. Like, I don't do it anymore because I feel like my mind to muscle connection is there. If you know, you understand how I get there. But when I was starting out and like, I feel like here's the thing is when you're starting out, you're so new to like moving your body in a certain way, or you're so new to like strength training. You're so new to like RDLs, hip thrusts, sumo squats, kickbacks. Basically just named my entire glute workout. You're welcome. So when you're first starting out, like you're so new to it that you're like, oh my God, like I'm actually struggling to, activate my glutes, or I'm struggling to activate whatever fucking muscle it is. Doesn't even have to be like glute activation that we're talking about. Just activating that muscle and using like bands to do it, or using like basically movements with zero weight. Then it's like you can take that, and when you do add weight and when you do actually do the exercises, you're able to activate your fucking glutes. That's what it is. People get hate on, like, I feel like when I'm posting about glute activation and stuff, or even when I'm talking about it in general, people like to hate on it and be like, that's stupid, that won't do anything, blah, blah, blah. But realistically, when you're starting in the gym, or if you're a quad focused girly, if you're a quad girl and you're like, I cannot activate my glutes for the life of me, try it, because once you've done it, like I'm saying, once you're actually like under the bar doing hip thrusts, you could just push that weight up and you can use your glutes because you fucking use them and you like know how to, bring them to life. I don't really know how to explain that, but I hope that makes sense. Okay, so number 2, doing hip thrusts first. So I've had a lot of girls actually on TikTok. I've been posting a lot on the form series. If you guys haven't seen it, you should go check it out. And just a lot of it is about like hip thrusts, kickbacks, just doing all the glute movements. and doing hip thrusts first. So doing like hip thrusts or cast glute bridges first. People say not to do that, or people say, why do you do that? Or people say, I do squats first because that's more efficient. And like, guys, I get so many comments talking about this. If I'm being completely honest, I started doing hip thrusts first when I started like trying to grow my glutes. And I was doing it 3 times a week, like every single leg day. Yes, that's excessive, but also we have goals. So that's what I wanted to do. And when I was doing them, like the reason that people do hip thrusts first is it's a compound exercise. So when you're working out, you want to do a compound exercise first. I've said this before, but hip thrusts, you guys, are like completely glute focused, like 100%. Why do you think you've seen every single influencer do hip thrusts? Like, honestly, why do you think you've seen that? It's probably because all of them are trying to grow their glutes, or at least all the glute girlies are. So that's what they're starting their workouts with. And it's like, if you feel your glutes, say in a different exercise, definitely do that. That's the thing with fitness is it's going to be completely different for every single fucking girl. So if you're doing squats or you're doing sumo squats or something, and you're like, okay, I feel my glutes way more in sumo squats, you should do those first because what you want to do with your first exercise is really load it up. You want to do that with every exercise. But your first exercise, think about it, you haven't like exhausted all your energy. So if you're going into, say you were doing squats first. So you do squats first, you've exhausted all your energy into squats. Your second exercise is hip thrusts and you can't put as much effort into it. Think about it. What muscle are you trying to grow? Your glutes. So if you are doing hip thrust first and you put all your effort into that and everything is going into that, like you're going to progress in that one so much faster because that's where all your effort is going. Simple. That's just how I think about it. And that's essentially how I do it. And that's just what works for me. If it doesn't work for you, definitely change it up. Do what works for you, obviously. But yeah. Okay, number 3. So this is one of my tips for anyone that essentially just maybe you're new to the gym or you're new to like the whole fitness world. I just want you guys to know that like this entire journey is such a lifestyle change. So I don't think that influencers talk about this enough. I think it's great because influencers and like people that have gotten into fitness are essentially using that as their job. So if you think about it, like their job is to go to the gym. Like their job is to actually be at the gym filming, probably 7 times a week. Maybe, they're there maybe even working out in the morning and then actually filming in the afternoon. So I think we as like normal people, everyone needs to understand that like influencers have made this their entire life. So like yes, it's a huge lifestyle change for everyone, but I just want you guys to understand that like sometimes just from training clients and stuff, I understand that like life gets in the way. Like, yes, we all have work and we all have everything, but like when you've actually made it your life, you have a little bit more time for the gym. So making sure that like even when you are comparing to like these influencers and stuff, just being like, okay, but they have all this time for the gym. So like don't be too hard on yourself when you're like, fuck, I haven't made it to the gym in like 4 or 5 days or something or whatever it is. But you've got kids, you work a full-time job, maybe you even work a second job. You've also got to like feed yourself and your fucking family. So it's like, okay, make sure that you're just granting yourself a little bit of grace and like, yes, continue to like try to change your lifestyle, try to change like the things that you're eating, try to change when you can train. But even getting to the gym like a couple times a week is so good because it's like you weren't doing that before. So like I just want you guys to like remember that there's also people that are like competing and there's also people that, you know, just have endless money. Some people just have money and they could just go to the gym whatever the fuck they want. So like try not to compare yourself to that, but just be aware that this whole journey is a lifestyle change. You can't continue to eat pizza every single night, or you can't continue to eat shit food every single day and expect your glutes to grow and your stomach to go away. It's just not how it works. It's never how it's going to work, unless you're on like Ozempic or some shit. But we're not all, I heard that stuff is like $800 a month or some shit. That's crazy. That's like half of rent, even more. That's just crazy. Anyways, so yeah, just know that it is a lifestyle change. You have to change your eating patterns. You have to change how much you're eating. I guarantee you're probably not eating enough, or you're probably just eating shitty food. So it's like then you have to like change that into like better food. Guys, there's so much that goes into it, and it's just such a big lifestyle thing that like don't compare yourself, and like it takes fucking time. So like don't, you know, push yourself too hard. Just grant yourself a bit of grace. Okay, number 4. So you have to fucking enjoy the gym. Like you have to find your reason for going. I know this sounds like so fucking stupid. I feel like every single person says this and I'm just like, oh, shut up. Like honestly, I actually hate it when people say find your why and like find your reason for going. I actually think it's like the stupidest thing ever. But it's actually like true. Like 100% true. And I feel so dumb for saying it. But like you actually have to find your fucking why. We need a different way of saying that. Like you have to find your reason for going. Like for me, I hated being at home. When I first started to go to the gym, I like hated my home environment and I was like, I just need to get out of here. So I started going to the gym and then it turned into such a routine. Like I was dry scooping pre, I was like, you know, I blasted my music before I left, like, and then I had to walk to the gym. So it was like I could just, you know, be walking down the street, crazy caffeine rush, bunch of music. Like it was just such a vibe. It could even be raining outside and I was like, I'm so excited to go to the gym. So you have to find like something that makes you excited to go, or something that like you're like, this is what I like. If you hate your home environment and it's your way to escape, you probably love the gym, or you would probably love the gym, you know, like it also gets your endorphins going. So it's just, guys, it's like all around good time. But if you're like a mom that's, say, at home all the time with your kids and whatever, like if you can find someone to watch your kids, or if your husband can take care of the kids, or if they're old enough to stay home alone, go to the gym, spend some time there. It's like the best time. I swear. But find your way to enjoy it, whether you do have to dry scoop pre, or you have to like, you have to just find your like rhythm with it. Some people like to listen to screamo. Some people like to listen to whatever. Some people sit in their car for like 30 minutes before they even go in. Some people like to hang out in the change room, or finding a friend to go with you. It's like there's so many different things that you could do if you really need to, and like yeah, just find your way to like enjoy it. Okay, my very last tip. Honestly, why did I forget what the tip was? Okay, stop being so fucking serious about it. You know what pisses me off about fitness people? Sorry to any fitness people that are watching this, but like everyone that's in fitness right now is so like, fitness is my life and like fitness is everything and like you have to be this certain way to go to the gym, and like I feel like everyone's so fucking serious about it right now, and I'm just like, can we just chill? Like honestly, first of all, every single person right now, I swear, that gets into fitness is like, I'm going to compete. I'm going to do a show. And I'm just like, we're not all here to do a show. Like we're not all here to go into bodybuilding. I understand that some people want to, which is great. Like I think it's actually a really cool sport. It's really, well, it's crazy to me, to be honest with you. But I support anyone that's doing it. I just think it's crazy that every single average Joe that's starting to go to the gym is like, I'm going to compete next year. In the next 2 years, I'm going to compete. And like, it's great. But if I'm being honest with you, it's just not my vibe. Like, I think fitness is meant to be like, for myself, I just like it as an escape, and I just like it to kind of do my own thing and fuck around in the gym for a bit and have a place where I can just be active and not on my laptop and like actually just be fucking around in a gym and, you know, trying new movements and trying different things and like actually working on myself, and actually working on like my glutes and whatever else I want to work on, to be honest with you. Like, people take it so seriously now that it's like, I understand that it is, you know, can be serious for some people. And if you want to make it serious, that's great. But just because you want to go to the gym does not mean you have to compete in the next year or two. You can actually just go to the gym just to go to the fucking gym. Like, you honestly can. You can go to the gym to go for a walk if you wanted to, if it's raining outside, even if it's nice outside. Sometimes I get down on myself and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to the gym and just walk on the treadmill, but it's nice outside, so I should go outside. But realistically, like, I could just go to the gym and go on the treadmill. And like, you know, it's still movement. You're still doing something. I just think that people are taking it way too fucking serious, and I think it's scaring away other people. But you don't have to be in perfect shape to go to the gym. You don't have to be this certain person to go to the gym. If you want to grow your glutes, go do fucking hip thrusts. Like, it shouldn't be this like embarrassing, serious, like, oh my God, you're doing it wrong. Because realistically, there's so many different goals and there's so many different ways to train, and like, it just doesn't matter that much. Like, we should not care as much as we do care about the gym. Yeah, so if you're someone that's like been questioning going to the gym or been questioning like just anything around this, or you're really struggling or whatever, just try to take it less serious. Be like, I'll lose the weight when I fucking lose the weight, or, you know, if I'm consistent. Yeah, anyways, that's all. I'm done. Rant over. Love you guys. Subscribe, comment, like, make another page and subscribe on that one. We're really trying to grow this channel. And if you haven't checked out the podcast, you should check out our podcast. It's under Lifted Lifting Official, I think, on YouTube. Is it Lifted? I'll put it in the description because I'm not sure what the thing is. But yeah, love you guys. Bye. Wait, I have to find it. Oh, it's Lifted Lifting Podcast on YouTube and Instagram. Bye. Bye.